Hi everybody, it's David Fleming here from the Toronto Realty blog, and welcome to this week's Pick 5. Now before I get into the properties today, guys, I wanted to give you a quick update on the market, which seems to be what I'm doing regularly with Pick 5, but we are in challenging times, as people continue to say. The real estate market's actually starting to move, and again, I don't want to sound like a market cheerleader. I've written a couple things on my blog lately saying, like, don't shoot the messenger. I can work in any market. And this is what I always say to people when I'm really trying to explain where I think things are going. You have to take it with a grain of salt because I sell real estate for a living. So case in point, I was talking to somebody the other day and he's looking to move his family from a condo to a house. And he said, what do you really think's happening? I said, I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you that 18 months ago, I bought a massive house, took on a load of debt, and we're in it now. So tell me again that I'm cheerleading? No, I put my money where my mouth is. And I use a lot of my own stories and my own feelings on the market based on what I've actually done myself. I think that's the best way to be transparent. So again, talking about what's happening in the market right now, again, take it with a grain of salt if you want to, but I will sell real estate where the market is up, down, or sideways. So what I have seen recently is that things are starting to move again. Now, the hottest part of the market, I would say, is the starter single family home market, right? Which is the sort of $799, $899, $999 lists selling for $1 million, $1 million, $1 million, $2 million. Those things are very popular right now. And if you have a chance to read my blog from Wednesday, please do so. I want to go to it very quickly, and my marketing manager who's editing this is going to say, why did you go to the actual blog? Why wouldn't you let me put up the charts? Well, you know, here we are. So take a look at this, guys. Condos listed under $700,000, 25% of them have an offer date. 25% of condos listed under $700,000. That's wild. There was a time when what? 80% of them would have. And that is down from, let's look at my first chart here, 17% is all condos in the downtown core. So again, read my blog if you get a chance. Now when we look, I'm going to scroll further down here. You look at East Side, for example, 60% are holding back offer. That's everything listed on the East Side. And again, this is, I think I did a random sample from Monday, May 18th to Tuesday, May 26th. But again, if we strip it down, we look at list prices under $1 million, 81% are holding back offers. So what that tells me right now is that the condo market has yet to get back to kind of where it was, but the single family starter home, and I'm sorry to call it a starter home, but that segment of the market certainly has. Now that is where we are in the market on a personal level. Now, again, some personal anecdotes, what we are doing right now, we being myself and my small real estate team, because I don't ever want to be one of those buses with like 68 people and they're all like this, right? So brought out a listing last week that we had in March that didn't sell, didn't get interest. We sold it with a preemptive offer for an unbelievable price. Not tooting my own horn, just saying that was a surprise to us. That was very good. Brought out another relist from March, which is out this week, bringing out 2 condos next week, bringing out a condo townhouse next week, bringing out the week after 2 houses and another condo. So we're starting to list again, and a lot of this inventory is stuff that we were going to list in April, May, and we're bringing it out now, right? The buyers have picked up too. I've gotten 4 new buyer inquiries in, I was gonna say the last week. I have a board, I have a whiteboard. It's old-fashioned. Yeah, last, let's say 7 to 10 days, people are starting to come out of the woodwork. So again, COVID is not going away, right? And I read something today that was talking about how this is the new reality and we have to learn to live with it. It's not going away. It's just not. This is going to become a part of our lives. I, for one, have started to realize that, I've accepted that. And I have a mother who has COPD, right? So trust me when I say I am heavily invested in staying healthy and clean. I would do anything for my mother, anything in this world, even if it means I'm not going out on appointments. I've completely altered my business. That's my new reality, is changing my life to work around her. But we have to be realistic. And realistic is people need to buy and sell real estate. People are going to move. I think that's what a lot of the general public has realized. So the 4 new buyers that talk to me, right? They're all saying, you know what? This is going to end. I'm in a 1-bedroom condo and I've got a kid and I've got another on the way. They've got to buy a house. COVID is not going away. That was depressing. Let's look at some properties. So guys, the impetus this week for, as you saw in the email, Summerhill. The impetus for this is that I ran into somebody who shall remain nameless and said, I love watching your videos, watch them all the time. Perfect, great. Don't think I'll ever get tired of hearing that. Then came the comment, you seem to do the same areas quite often. It's true. I do. Maybe I'm just unoriginal. No, that's not true. I'm pretty original. My friend Greg, 2007, we started coaching baseball. We really hit it off, me and him, a couple of rows. He said, Dave, you're so unique. That was his word. So call me unoriginal, guys. But yes, I do a lot of the same areas over and over. Now, I go where the business goes. I go where the volume goes. To talk about semis on the east side sounds boring as hell. Dave, you do it all the time. But that is where the inventory is. That is what people want to know about. And having said that, today I figured I would look at an area that I don't think I've ever featured in Pick 5, and that is Summerhill. Now, where is Summerhill? Well, we're going to look at our map here, which is our MLS map. And let me just give you a very, very, very brief refresher. We have Leaside over here. We've got Moore Park. Well, this is Bennington, right? Moore Park, Rosedale, Deer Park. So what is Summerhill? Well, there's a lot of names for areas that are kind of made up, right? Like, oh, look, the Republic of Rathnelly. Who in the world came up with that? I'd love to meet the person that when you say, where do you live? Instead of saying, well, I live on Cottingham, they say, the Republic of Rathnelly. Like, dude, it's not like medieval England. So the Republic of Rathnelly. So Summerhill is appropriately named after the Summerhill station, right? Which I guess is named after Summerhill Avenue and Summerhill Gardens. Now, if I may reminisce, the Summerhill LCBO was the one that used to be open, the latest in the city, the beer store at Summerhill. They didn't always check IDs. And I say this, of course, not being too cool for school. I didn't actually drink alcohol until I was almost 19. But I do remember that that was the rumor from cooler people than me. So yes, growing up, that's what I remember. Now, of course, you have that massive Summerhill LCBO that is a real treat to go to. I remember a long time ago, now I'm going to get really off topic, I had a girlfriend from Dave Don't Tell the Story, Barry, and we literally just went there one day and walked around for like 2 hours. It was so cool. I can't believe I just told that story. Yep, that's what I did on dates. I was 20, okay? So it's a really, really cool place. It's a refurbished train station. If you get a chance, go there. They have like cooking classes, and I'm sure you guys are all familiar with it. So let's get to the properties, because that was an overshare, and I can't even believe what I'm talking about right now. Now, we're going to look at 5 properties today. There's one over here, and the reason I want to show you that one, in addition to the fact there was only 4 over here, is because that's where prices will get going too. So in and around this area, you've got a lot of green space. You can see that. David Balfour Park, for example. You have, I'm going to zoom out here, guys. You have Taylor Creek, and this goes all the way down, or sorry, not Taylor Creek, oh my God. Yellow Creek. Taylor Creek is way, way further east. And it goes all the way down and connects with the Bayview Extension. So there's so much green space, right? You all know the Beltline Trail, right? I ran through there today, true story. Through there. I don't run on like Beltline Trail. I need to map everything. I need to know exactly 5 kilometers, but I go down that bridge. And so long story short, it's possible. One of the major appeals to this pocket here is the green space. Now, if you see this right here, folks, if you see this, you will say, wait a minute, that is a train. Yeah, it is. And that's the rub here, guys. Mind if I get comfortable? That's the rub here, is that there's some unbelievable properties, but there's also a train. So if you were to go down here, right, Mathersfield, Pricefield, and take a look, some of the nicest houses back onto the train. And you're talking here where, sorry for zooming out too quickly, you're talking Rosedale proper, right? This is legit Rosedale. I mean, some of the nicest houses in the city are in and around here. And as you head further north, you've got to contend with the train. So it's one of those things where, and my mom's got a train in her backyard. I filmed a video there once. It's one of those things where, to be honest, you will get used to it to some extent. I have had friends and clients with the train in their basement from the TTC, the train in their backyard, showing a house on Lee Crest tonight, right? It overlooks the train below. It's a house that's at 2.5 million. That would be 3.5 million if it was in South Leaside on Besborough Drive. But there's a train. So that's kind of the rub here, guys. And we're going to start with a little row house on Summerhill Gardens. So Summerhill Gardens, beautiful street, as mentioned. This house has been on the market for 317 days. Is this even really a real listing? You're going to ask yourself. Look, it's listed for $1,580,000. and it's at $1,680,000. So they've played a lot of pricing games here. And I'm going to show you this just because I can, not really because I want to. I wanted to show you houses, right? But like you look at the listing history, right? And where's price? Like this is every single thing that they've changed. They $1,680,000. This is July 29th, 2019. July 29th, 2019. They put open houses canceled on August 1st, 2019. But it still says open houses canceled. So if you saw open houses canceled, you might have thought, oh, because of COVID? Isn't that 2 months out of date? No, the open house is canceled in July of last year. So I bring this up, guys, because I want to show you the house. Please, Bella. Not so much because, it's a fantastic listing. It's been on the market for 317 days. It's just a really cool entry-level house. And say what you want about the price or the way that it's listed for sale, but it's really pretty. Now, it's not a huge house, but you look at the photos, and again, you can only judge so much from photos. It's nicely renovated, right? It's nicely renovated, it's clean, it's open. This is not a big house. It was not meant to be a big house originally. Now you're gonna notice that there is no dining room table here, right? Their living room looks boring as hell. I mean, what's happening here? This is just basic staging. I don't know what to say. You or I coulda, woulda done a better job on this. But the house is really nice. Maybe it's overpriced, maybe it's poor staging. I don't know what the hell this is happening right here. But it's a very nice renovation. And so if you wanna say it's worth $200,000 less, fine. If you want to say that, it's poorly marketed, I would be the first to agree with that. The photos are terrible. But you can't deny where it is, what it backs onto. We've seen where it is on a map, but what does it look like from the outside? This is an area where a lot of these houses were built, Rosedale, Summerhill, right? You've got old Victorians that are late 1800s, you've got Edwardians that are early 1900s, and then you've got this big row here. These were all built in 1948. And I've actually got a client in one of these. So this is the house from the outside, right? You're buying this for location. Now, if you are the growing family, you're not buying this. It's a small house, it's 2 bed, 2 bath. Who's buying this? Well, retirees, perhaps. Condo alternative folks, perhaps. Downsizers. Now you can see here the garbage bins on the front lawn. That's something that you don't think about with a long row. You can't put them in the backyard. So see this right here and this right here. This is probably garbage bins. That's fine. You can do that here. But when Google Street View showed up in the little Google mobile, they were renovating this house, which is what I will show you next based on what they paid for it. So we'll go further down here and you can see, right, what have we got here? We've got a train. So all of these folks, you look around the corner here, for example, these folks are going to hear the train. But does it go right through their backyard like it does for these folks? No. And that may be the rub with 76 Summerhill Gardens. Now let's take a look at the history here. And this might make you again think that it's overpriced. So they paid $880 for the house. $880 for this house. Now look, it's a 1+1. So they paid $880 for this house in 2015. And then they renovated it and they brought it out for $1,580,000 in 2018. And now it's $1,680,000. You can see that July of last year. There's a lot of listings that approach a year on MLS, believe it or not. And you know what? Most people just look right past them. So I don't really know what this is. I don't know why this is here. It's at $1,680,000 and it's just sitting there. It's owner occupied. Is your house even for sale? That's what I would tell this person. How many showings are you getting? But bottom line, that's our entry level foray into Summerhill. Okay. So our next listing is 89 Summerhill Avenue. Okay, wait a minute. Summerhill Gardens, Summerhill Avenue. What's the difference? Well, this is 89 Summerhill Avenue. So 89 Summerhill Gardens would be around here, right? I just showed you one on Summerhill Gardens. So now you start to see houses that are not backing onto the train. And during my extremely confusing and I'm sorry, blurry tour of Google Street View, I was going around Summerhill Gardens and going up Summerhill Ave to kind of say, can these folks hear the train? Yeah, absolutely, they can hear it. But this one, maybe not so much, right? So beautiful house from the outside, right? It's a Victorian, it's really pretty. The whole area is Victorian, right? And then, these, I don't really know what these are. These are probably built at a later date. But you're what, a block? A block from Yonge Street? Could you do any better than that, right? The city of Toronto, a block from Yonge Street. Location is unbelievable. And I think that's what this one is banking on. Now, if we look down here, Offers gratefully accepted Wednesday, June 3rd at 4 p.m. So you've got somebody that is listing at $1,895,000, right? And it's only a 15 by 85 and it's 2.5 story and it's got no parking. But they're $1,895,000 holding back. So again, how much does location play into that pricing? No parking, 15 feet wide, row house, not even a semi. Location, man. What else can you say? So you can see here, really, really pretty exterior. 1, 2, 3 Victorians all in a row. There's one over here as well. I absolutely love the exterior of this. Now, if I saw this house right here and I didn't know where we were, Cabbagetown, Roncesvalles, Summerhill, right? That's kind of where my mind goes. That's the vintage of this home. And the buyer, again, I know some people don't want to hear this, but it's probably going to be a downsizer, right? If you're selling for $4 million, you can buy for $2 million. So original features of a Victorian house, high ceilings, right? The rounded archways, everything's square nowadays. I don't know that these are original baseboards. They're probably not, right? Same goes for the flooring. But this is the kind of period pieces that these are the kind of period pieces that we would like to see if you're going to restore a house like this. One of the things I hate more than anything is when you take an 1880s Victorian and then you just rip out the guts of it and make it look like what? Like a downtown condo, a Forest Hill house? So there's going to be features in here that maybe you don't like, right? See this here? That's kind of cottage style. The checkerboard floor. Country kitchen, that's what I would call it. Cottage country kitchen. But overall, it's a beautiful house. Absolutely stunning. And again, some of the older features, right? Like this tile, for example. I don't know if that's original, but it's certainly not new. Checkerboard floor again. So it's a 3-bed, 3-bath. Master bed's beautiful. Original stained glass. Again, can't go wrong if you're a downsizer, right? So somebody that's looking to live close to Yonge Street, walking distance to Yonge Street, and they're downsizing, this is essentially what they're looking for. Nice little family room. That's awesome. And then up top, I mean, this house goes on and on and on. There is so much to this. And I don't know what the market's going to be like for it. Oh, hello. Do we like to craft? We use craft as a verb. We craft. And again, no parking, but beautiful backyard. Maybe you don't love that this is in your backyard, but you know what? It's better than the AC ducts on the roof of, you know, like the fish and chips place. It's common in some areas when you back onto that. So again, $1,895,000. I mean, I think this could get action. It's very tough to say in this market. Let's look at the address history, just because we seem to be doing that today. And you'll see that these guys have owned the place since 1997. So I think the people that buy here like to live here. Not a lot of turnover. And yeah, you know, they rented it fine. Maybe it's an investment property for them, or maybe that was just 1 year. In fact, I might guess that unless these guys were here for 7 years, right? Maybe it was just an off year. But point being, I mean, you see owners that have been here for 23 years. God, that makes me feel old. Hey, look, you know what? Moved in, loved it, didn't want to leave. So I think this is a beautiful house. The fact that it has no parking, that's a bit of a rub. But a lot of the houses in the area do not. Okay, so let's move on here to 107 Summerhill. So awkward, 2 houses up for sale at the same time. So 107 Summerhill Avenue, and where were we? 89 Summerhill Avenue? Oh, hello. Check this out. Let's do a little camera 1, camera 2 action. Okay. Oh, no, not that one. All right, camera 1, 107 Summerhill. Camera 2, 89 Summerhill. So really, where are we here? Sorry, let me go back to 107 Summerhill. We're a little bit closer to the train track. Modest difference, right? I really don't think it matters. Now, this house, of course, is a semi. Does that matter to you? Some people say yes, some people, they really don't care. The fact that the other one was a row, you actually might have a little more space. If you have a 14-foot row versus a 14-foot semi, right? You're detached at one side, it cuts into your space. So again, really pretty part of the street. And as you can see from the map, which I'm not doing a good job of showing, there's a little parkette here. So who doesn't love green space, right? Really, really quiet pocket. And that's the thing about this area, guys, is you're not on this street unless you happen to live on this street, right? Why in the world would you be here unless you lived here? So there is no through traffic here. It's super quiet. And again, you're walking a block, and that's what people are going to want here. So this is 2.325. It's been on the market for 16 days. You're a semi, you're 3-story. You have parking. Okay, great, 2-car. 23 by 97, so it's wider than the last one, and it's a 4-bed, 3-bath. So once we get inside here, get a sense of the layout, right? And I should have showed you the photos of the last one. Not a huge house. You can see the back just from standing in the foyer here, right? Maybe you don't love the lighting. Looks new, but it actually kind of feels like fluorescent lights in the office building that your parents worked out when you were growing up, right? So not the biggest property. And again, your dining room is a bench. Feels like we're in a diner. So for some people, they don't love that, right? The metallic look here. Again, the lights I made note of. It's a very, very specific design. Some people are going to love it. Some people are not. For $2.3 million, do you want to move right in, or do you want to start doing some work on it? I had clients that downsized from Leaside. They bought on Marlborough Place, and she was a designer. They gutted that place, man, and they made it their own. And they have very, very unique taste. She was in House and Home, I think, once, and it's like the taste that you're like, wow, but it's unique, right? Anyone can do what everyone does. Is that a good saying? My friend's mother, who I'm talking about, unique tastes, right? And that's actually what sold their house in Leaside at a time when you weren't getting multiple offers on things, was a very unique look and feel. And somebody coming from London, Ontario, who had that growing up, they said, this is me to a T. And they bought it. That's my dog trying to escape. So I want to get to the floor plans here to give you an idea of how this thing is laid out. Because again, with 3 stories, and again, very, very unique finishes. With 3 stories, we want to figure out where are the 4 beds. The entire top floor is this bedroom, which is huge, right? You've got 2 chaises. What's the plural of chaise? You've got a fireplace. You've got the bed here. It's massive. So let me go return to photos here because I want to get to the back, right? Okay, so you can see that it's on that bow, on that angle in the street. So you've got a lot of neighbors kind of looking down on you, not metaphorically. And then parking, right? We said 2-car lane parking. So now I'm going backwards, unrenovated basement, that's fine. We've got broadloom, we have piano. I have no idea how they got that down there. That's actually wild. So let me go to the floor plans here. Piano's funny. Okay, so main floor, foyer, and I said you could see the back door from the front. No questions asked, right? We had that weird light happening here. The dining room where we've got that that diner seating. So once we get to the second floor, 2nd bed, 3rd bed, 4th bed. Where's the 1st bed? Well, it's the master. It's up top. It's amazing. It's an entire floor to yourself. You've got a huge 5-piece ensuite. You've got the chaise here. You've got built-in bookcases, and you've got a fireplace. And then downstairs, you had that little rec room. So very, very different layout. And again, I go back to this one here, and there was a floor plan, which I should have shown you. But again, start on the main, right? Living, dining, kitchen. Upstairs, bed, and then up top, bed and that family room. So I really, really liked this house. I really liked this house. Now it's a 15 by 85, and here you've got a 23 by 97. These guys are 2325, sitting in the market 16 days, right? Call this $2,250,000. What's this going to sell for, right? It's only 3 bed, 3 bath, but it has that family room upstairs. This is 4 bed, 3 bath. But what is a bedroom? What is a family room? What's the difference? Put a bed in the family room, right? And there's your bedroom. So I think when you're looking in this area, and again, I don't want to say that everyone here is a downsizer, but to me, these houses reek of downsizers. Not to say that you're not buying this and raising a family here, but I would say more often than not, somebody that's looking, for a little 15 by 85 foot row house for $1,805,000 on Summerhill, walking distance to Yonge, is in fact a downsizer. So these 2 houses will probably end up selling within, I don't know, $100,000, $200,000 of each other. It's a lot of money, but as a percentage, it's not. So you be the judge. Which one do you like more? To be honest, I really prefer the first one. Okay, so the next one here, guys, 45 Woodlawn. So now I'm taking you up a notch. We're detached. We're 30 by 130. Oh my God. And we're 5 bed, 3 bath. So it's an Edwardian, as you can tell from the outside, right? And the first one was a Victorian. You can just tell this is an Edwardian, which means it's probably early 1900s. Now, where are we at 45 Woodlawn? Well, we started here at Summerhill Gardens with the train. We moved on to Summerhill Ave. We had, one here and one here. We're a block away, right? We're a block away. We're on Woodline. And maybe now this is more conducive to that so-called family, that family home. Is it because it's detached? Is it because it's bigger? Is it because it has 5 bedrooms? I don't know. I don't think this is a downsizer house, though, because it's too expensive and it's too big. So if you're downsizing to this house, I would love to see where you came from. Now, this house is not quite as polished. A lot of original features. This floor here, I would bet is original. I would bet it was carpeted for 6 decades, but this wood door is original. This hanging stained glass piece may be repurposed from somewhere else in the house. The wood trim is original. You can tell by the furniture, okay, not the most modern. Ceiling fan, etc. This is going to take work. and I'll get to the floor plan in a moment. The photos are really nothing to write home about, but it gives you an idea that this is, you know, a fixer-upper. I hate saying that because it's so mean, right? Like, people lived here for a long time, and I'm calling it a fixer-upper. I don't mean that in terms of judgment. I mean, they have a fax machine, but rather because from a real estate standpoint, holy crap, look at all those books. Someone is going to buy this and they're going to fix it up. And from here you can see downtown, which is very cool. So again, being a fixer-upper, and this kind of reminds me of like some of the houses in Roncesvalles. Similar period. Let me just finish these photos here. Thanks. Similar period in terms of when they're built. 30 by 130 Edwardian. You see a lot of this in Ronces. So for $2.6 million, which maybe I think is a bit rich because of the money that it's going to cost, you know, you're probably spending $400,000 to $500,000 in here, right? But then what have you got? You've got probably, you can see they were down from 2,749, right? Now that was in April. So 2,749, they're already down $150,000. Sorry, my dog is at the door here. So, I mean, it's going to take a lot of work, but wait on the price, probably coming down a little bit. And then you think to yourself, this is a 5-bed, 3-bath. If you put in that $500,000, you've got a 5-bed, 5-bath. You've got a house that you're going to be in forever, as these folks were, because the listing actually predates MLS, right, which started in 1987. So I don't want to spend too long on this one. It was actually the first 3 that I wanted to show you guys. Now, last but not least, and I feel like I gave the first one a lot more time, 72 Farnham. So this is interesting, guys, because we've got a 30 by 130. This is only a 24 wide, 25. It's 166 feet deep. And this is a brand new house. So for almost $5 million. So where is 72 Farnham? It's on the other side of Yonge. So you might call this more Deer Park. You might say that you know, it's not fair to compare. But as I said, I wanted to show you, 1, a higher price point, and 2, I needed that 5th listing. So it's a beautiful house, and you know, this is the streetscape, right, on Farnham. I'm sure you drive by here when you're cutting through to Avenue Road. Mostly detached houses, a lot of different looks among the houses, and almost $5 million. So I'll show you the photos just because we can, right? This is real estate porn. I don't love the double door front, right? I have a glass film here, and the dog always looks like this. Or the guy dropping packages off, he'll knock and then he'll kind of look. Why we didn't film the entire thing, I don't know. So on the inside, what does a $5 million house look like? It's certainly not the layout that I would pick. But as I said, this is basically real estate porn. This is the 5th listing we're looking at today out of 5. That is home to a very large TV. That's a tough part about when you're a builder and you put a recessed TV cabinet. What if you do it for 42 inches and they want a 50? TVs get larger and larger as we go through life. That is certain. Yeah. Is that your dining room? Is that your dining room? No, that can't be your dining room. That's your dining room? No, that's your eat-in kitchen. We were talking. I was talking. That's your dining room. That's your dining room? There's 2 similar dining rooms. So your dining room here is essentially in a hallway in a 25-foot house where you've got a staircase going up and down next to each other. Okay, so $5 million, 6-person dining. And then we've got 4-person eat-in. So you can see what I do to listings. I'm being honest. $5 million, I can think of some other houses that I would like. Yeah. It's funny, when we look at houses like this, and by we, I mean me, and I poo-poo them, it's like, okay, dude, what do you want? You're poo-pooing a $5 million house. Man, for this price, I can't even tell you like what you could get. That's kind of neat. I gotta say, that's kind of neat. That deserves a shout out. Yeah, honestly, I could sell you Bella, please. I could sell you a $2.5 million house, and you could keep the other $2 million. So there you go, guys. As you can tell, today was more about the first 3 properties, which, again, not to typecast this area, but very, very popular with downsizers, very popular with the young, mature working couple that waiting to have kids, the childless couples, the condo alternatives, etc. So 72 Farnham, $5 million house, shows you what's going on in the area. Beautiful, beautiful Edwardian that needs a ton of work, right? But it's a 30 by 30, 130, and it steps to Yonge. And really, the area is all about proximity to Yonge. Why else would you be buying at Summerhill, right? So here we've got one of the ones that I really did like. This was 2.3 million for 107 Summerhill. This one I absolutely loved. This is what Summerhill is all about to me. And then you got this wacky property that's been sitting on the market for 317 days. That's kind of where we walked into this. You say $1,680,000 on the market for a year. What's it worth? $1,500,000, $1,600,000? Who knows? Who cares? The point is that's the entry level to this area. I sold to a client for $1,300,000 in this block. God, that must have been 5-6 years ago. So the value can be supported, right? There's just not a market for it. Anyways, guys, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know how this is going to turn out. There were so many distractions today. My ADD kicked in. Did I really tell a story about taking my first girlfriend to the St. Clair LCBO? Look, man, she was from Barrie. She thought it was the coolest thing ever. Up there, it's just like nothing but strip malls, right? My dog's here, and I guess she has to go to the bathroom. Begs the question, how long are you to continue to wear this and take your dog to the office? I'm still one of like 4 people in the building. Our brokerage is yet to reopen. There are brokerages, won't name names, that have changed the locks in their buildings because they don't want people going there. So I don't know how long I'm going to be here for. I'm leaving in about 5 seconds to take Bella outside. But as I said at the beginning, the market is moving. This is something we wanted to do today that's a little bit different. I'm sure next week I'll go back either to where the action is with entry-level houses or entry-level condos. But for now, thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.